All mother's tits. I've just about had it with this bunch of repressed virgins. And who might you be? You don't look like one of them.
Oh, do I now? You would be too if you had to deal with those sniveling morons when they're up to something. Don't look at me like that. You don't get as far in life as I have if you can't smell bullshit from a mile away. There's something fishy going on here. But I'll get to the bottom of it. And here's a brilliant idea. You're going to help me.
I just need you to go to Brandon and find out why that slime ball is pretending not to know I'm here. Tell him I'm waiting with his delivery. Although I'm pretty sure he knows this already.
You don't know? He's the captain of this entire circus. I thought since they let you in, you must have an in with him.
And it turns out you know even less than I do. There's something going on, you know? They don't want anybody to know, but I can feel it. I've been doing business with the captain for years now.
Then suddenly I found myself stuck here. They won't let me further in, not even to set up camp in the village. But they won't let me out either.
Anyway, good luck to you. Come and visit if you need anything. You do realize you won't score any points with the Keepers by helping me, right? Those holier-than-thou soldier boys have no idea what it takes to be a merchant in this sorry world. The things we have to do sometimes aren't exactly done according to the rulebook. There's a woman from the tribes called Nest. She's my supplier. At least, I think she's still working for me. I haven't heard from her in a while, and she was supposed to bring me some really precious cargo. Something the captain wanted me to arrange. You still up for an adventure, hmm? My guess, and it's only a guess, is that at some point she must have been somewhere around the bay. That beach near the whale's tooth.
Rumor has it that Bromar No-Face and his thugs are fond of that place, which wouldn't be good news for Nest. Good luck, and don't... Name's Orla. I'm a merchant. Or I try to be, when my...
What was I thinking when I decided to leave Timberwolf?
You've never been to the merchant capital? Well, other than that, it's a place like any other. The same pain and misery. Or, well, maybe it is, if you like living with a bunch of backstabbing crooks. I have no home in Timberwall. Well, we have an estate, but it hasn't felt like home for a long time.
I feel like every time I go back, I recognize it less and less. The people are getting greedier and more desperate by the day.
Business is slow, I'm not gonna lie. With the weirdness creeping in from the north and bandits everywhere, trade's just not as profitable as it used to be. But, I don't know. Being a merchant from Timberwall used to mean craftiness, taking risks, looking for opportunities. Now, they only care about keeping their heads down and preserving their fortunes.
Not really. It's more of a requirement if you ever want to be successful in Timberwall. My family is full of them.
Oh, love, plenty. And almost none of them happy. I'll never forget the first time we stumbled upon a place after a cloud of the weirdness oozed through.
It was a small settlement, just a few houses. There was this odd, bitter taste in the air. The place was completely abandoned. Or so we thought. Until we started finding them, one by one. A man who tried to chop off his legs after sprouting antlers. Another one who gouged his eyes out so he wouldn't have to look at his child melting into the floor.
A woman in the farthest corner of the settlement managed to stab herself in the heart before it got to her. I almost dropped it all and ran back to Timberwall that day. I'm still not sure why I didn't. I guess giving up just isn't in my nature.
Let me guess. Camelot, no? Timberwall, also no? So you're not from the north? Ah, of course.
You must be from Connacht. I should have guessed right away. So, who's in charge there now?
Oh, I was just wondering what's going on out there. Here in the south, we have our own affairs. What happens out there in the world? Well, the news doesn't always travel all the way here.
And they should. It's in our common interest.
You know, people are talking about rising unrest in the north, and a secret coalition preparing a coup at the highest levels of power. And that whole plague thing is just a tool to reach their final goal. The Red Priests are also trying to get something out of it.
And to be honest, it's not gone too bad for them. The Druids are out of the picture already.
Well, sure. They want to establish a new order on our island. And it's not clear who's involved in the whole mess.
Maybe. Maybe our captain is even involved. Hell knows. They have their people everywhere. Damn it, you could be one of them too. Although when I look at you, I don't think so. You have such a stupid face. With all due respect, of course.
That's the case. Those sons of bitches are good at hiding. They kinda blend in and live among us. It's hard to tell if it's hideous magic or some other tricks. You see? It takes one to know one. And that means we're just pawns. Folks like us won't change anything. But we have to talk out loud. It suits them when everyone keeps their mouth shut.
Wait a minute. I'm not suggesting anything here. I'm just thinking out loud.
It doesn't make sense that the plague appeared just like that. Out of bloody nowhere? Hell no. It's a high-stakes game.
Power over us, of course. Over our bodies and souls. Over Avalooooon. Over the whole damn course of history. You know, I've been thinking lately. What if King Arthur is just a stupid fairy tale? What if the nobles and others involved in the whole conspiracy just made him up? And us peasants eventually just started to believe in it.
You know, one story for everyone. They drilled it into our heads, and drilled it until it finally stuck. And then they built statues, wrote books, and everything else. You finally get it. It's just a pity that there are so few like us. Well, we just have to keep going, eh? And while we're at it, I have to get back to work. I'm on duty.
Welcome. in the name of our eternally reigning Majesty King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Tables. I am obliged to inform you that fighting those who actively break the law and reject the rule of the crown is as representative will be paying a bounty of 10 gold pieces. I also recommend checking the bounty board for please state your business. That's correct. My name is Killian. I was sent here from the capital to see how the Horns of the South are handling the bandits' problem, and also to encourage the Keepers to fight. The situation with the Pict and Del Rita savages is precarious. Too bad we can't get rid of them as easily as we did the Druids. There have also been rumors that we might soon have a civil war on our hands, so Camelot cannot afford to spread our forces too thin. There are rumors that the Rita tribes want to unite, and that would mean open war with Camelot. As for those Pict savages, they've been growing bold, leaving their forest. For now, it's just been small scrimmages. But who knows how it would end? Well, you've probably heard about the Druids making human sacrifices by stuffing people into wicker puppets and setting them on fire. Well, the people decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. They rounded them all up and then sent them up in smoke. Oh, how they must have howled and sizzled. Too bad I couldn't see it. Yep, made human sacrifices, prayed to the dark gods, brought the weirdness back. Bunch of bastards. Good thing they're worm food now. Most of them, the survivors have supposedly taken refuge with savages in the woods, and one of them is rumored to be hiding in the Horns area. But whether that was before or after the Charred Conclave, I don't know. Would you like to hear about him? His name was Slaudyarg. He was lurking near Blood Lake, a small pond where they used to throw the bodies of executed convicts. They say he would fish them out and use his magic to turn them into undead monsters. Supposedly, he started needing some fresher corpses, so he slaughtered one of the keepers. The Horns organized a manhunt. They found him and sentenced him to death. People say that the moment his body touched the surface of Blood Lake, the water turned red and it's been scarred since that day. Some say that Slaudyarg came back from the dead and seeks revenge. But if you ask me, it's just a tale by local simpletons. I don't really have much more to tell. It's hard to get any updates here. I only know that the new Lancelot has not been very popular, and that's putting it mildly. The Witch Morgane would have been burnt at the stake long ago if everyone weren't so afraid of her. And then we have the commoners who seem to keep forgetting their place, and loudly demanding changes. Everything is falling apart. None so far. The Keepers don't want to risk being turned into pincushions for a mere 10 gold pieces. Besides, the captain banned them from leaving the Horns of the South without a good reason. Too many bandits and not enough Keepers. Oh, you have no idea. When I heard they were sending me south, to the very place that's crawling with bandits and barbarians from the tribes, I imagined I'd be a little closer to the action, you know? Fighting, gushing blood, screams and such like. I thought the veterans would be showing me their scars and stumps and telling me tales of how they lost their eyes, ears and limbs. Or even better, how they were ripping open throats and bellies. Instead, the only stories I hear are when those fools break their own legs when they get drunk and fall off the walls. I could be, but many people can swing a sword, but only a few have as sharp and bright a mind as I do. It's just that some people were made for fighting, while others are destined for greater things. Besides, watching and listening gives me enough satisfaction without needing to risk my life. Yeah, I've been like this since I was a child. The moment an execution is over, I'm waiting for the next one. And there were quite a lot of them in Camelot. And I like to watch where Mum punished the servants with a whipping. It's just how I am. Well, Camelot would send a group of knights with Sir Galahad at the head, and he's not interested in half measures. He'd probably burn down half the garrison, or hang them. He's done both. By the way, did you know that people who are hanged rarely die from strangulation? Usually the sudden jolt causes the backbone to snap, which separates the head from the body. A while ago I saw someone hanged in the village, and it's true. One snap, and it's done. No matter what you say about him, he's very efficient. Brutal, even by my standards, but efficient. Oh, sure, plenty. Did you know that apparently if you cut off someone's head, they don't die straight away, but remain conscious for a few moments? If someone dies in a damp, closed-off space, sometimes, but very rarely, their body creates a thin layer of wax on the surface of the skin. I heard that a body decomposes in water 4 times faster than on land. I need to think. If I remember anything, I'll let you know. Oh, hey, before you go, I can see the bloodlust in your eyes, you know. It takes one to know one. So here's some friendly advice, free of charge. If you're seeking scum to slay, you'll find bandits in the ruins of a merchant settlement nearby. It's worth visiting if you haven't already.
Oh, a new face. It's always nice to see someone new here. Welcome, welcome. Yes, my apologies. Ever since breakfast today, I've been sort of lost in thought. I keep thinking of my dear mother's cooking, especially her famous pie. You see, all we got, I could live with all the, and I'd. As if it were that easy. And Rorik. Really?
Hope nothing bad happens today.
You? I'm serious. Not that I can't. Oh. It's a good thing you didn't start with. Yeah, I'm pissed off. Because they say they're running from the weirdness. But so now I have even more hungry mouths to feed. And since the captain ordered the of course, I can make you 1,000. Well, I'm good for now. But if, and as a sign. Oh! What do you think? In the fishing village. Hell no. I'd rather stay useful here and drop dead at my. If someone's still fit to work but chooses.
Look what you've done, you fool. It's always the same with you. Beat them up first, ask questions later, damn it. And now we have no gold, no nothing, just a pile of old stones and a dead body. Look what you've done, you fool. It's always the same with you. Beat them up first, ask questions later.
We have company. We'll make short work of you. Beg for mercy. I'll teach you. We ain't safe here. Something's not right. I'll teach you to respect me! I'm not beaten yet! This is going to hurt. Stay sharp. Blow for blow. Prepare for battle.
You're nothing but a peasant. Be afraid. You're out of your depth.
I'll take you down. Ah! You're only making me angrier! I'm not scared of you! Is that supposed to work? Your armor won't save you. pay for that insult.
Mather favors me. Open this and release me. I'm Nest of the Ulfra clan, and that's my real name. I'm nothing like that nameless fool Bromar. I'll admit, getting caught was my mistake, but his men had the numbers. Bromar might be an oaf, but I can't deny he's got some talent for banditry. That woman thinks only about business, doesn't she? Can't say I blame her. In times like these, everyone has to look after their own skin. They took everything I had, but I managed to hide Orla's package before they caught me. You can dig it up and take it to her. She'll pay you, and we'll be even. Consider it my thanks for freeing me. Ah, I see you don't know much about the Dalriata. No surprise there. Our elders keep us in the mountains, and the world seems to be forgetting about us. In the Dalriata, you have to earn your name. You choose a father, go through the trials, all of it. You need to prove yourself worthy of your clan. If you fail, you're not worthy of carrying a name. You get exiled. So, Bromar can call himself whatever he wants, but to me, he's a nobody. How should I know what rattles around in that empty skull of his? Maybe he liked what he saw, and thought he could take me for himself. Not that he got very far. Dalriata women decide for themselves who they lie with. You can't take us by force. We bite. Literally. He probably thought if he kept me here long enough, I'd soften up. He's in for a rude awakening, because I'd sooner bite through my own wrists than fall for his posturing. Finally, someone with some sense in this den of idiots. Thanks. I'll heal up and head back to my people. You didn't happen to kill that big oaf hanging around outside, did ya? Bromar no face. Suits him, with that ugly mug of his. Well, honor demands I kill the bastard, but I'll tend to my wounds first. Thanks for freeing me. You're all right for a non-reata.
Company. You're in for a world of... Your gold belongs to us now. You're finished. Keep your wits about you. Your gold belongs to us now. You made a big mistake. Your gold belongs.
exactly. Oh, it's just that every time I doubt my service in the horror, my mother wasn't much of anything, to tell the truth. And every day she'd bring back home a new. Then, when she'd sober up, if the other. Yeah.
Please, state your business. Really? Again? Oh! But it was... that... snap... I... Do you keep bandits' fingers as trophies? Incredible! You are born good. There's an ogre. He really... As you can imagine, the keepers aren't too keen. If by some miracle you manage to kill it, bring me the ogre's shiny eye as... Go, a fight to the death. Go chop off...
You're back. That's the best news I've heard all week. Come on.
Now that I think about it, since you managed to bring that package and Nest decided to ditch me, you might as well help with the next part of the job. My client, you know who, wants the package delivered to a specific place. Once you're there, you'll use these very special arrows I'm about to give you and shoot the package from a safe distance. Regular arrows won't do the trick, and if you waste them before the job's done, I'll charge you for the next batch. These aren't gifts, they're tools. Oh, come on. What do you think happens when you shoot flaming arrows at a mysterious package? Think for a second. Anyway, whatever. If I were you, I wouldn't... Am I some kind of sick? But if the rumors about him cozying up to the Dalriata tribes are true, you might stumble upon... Personally, I think the captain's just trying to suck up. What does he care? He pays me to get the job done. Try not to...
people with such. Is that supposed to work? Who goes there? I'll make you pay for that! You're no match for our band! You'll regret this!
Oh, it.
You're that now, Mike one. If but it keep your head.
Please, stay. Oh! But it was. That. Oh. Now. What? Do you keep. Go. Do you keep back? Please, stay. Really? Again? Incredible. You are this, as you can imagine, if bring me a fight to the death. Go chop off. Go chop off. please. I can't believe you actually did it. A blade buried in that giant body. I can only imagine what a sight that was. Here, take your reward. And please accept Camelot's official gratitude. You've truly done a great service for the capital. Go, the hunter waits. Do you keep ban-
Stay sharp. You're only making me angrier!
Please, stay. Well, well. It's like the gods themselves made you for the job. Though I'm not sure which ones. You are truly remarkable. I almost wish there were more bounties left. But alas, you've handled them all. And keep up the good work. I hope it brings you as much satisfaction. Go chop off some.
Yes? Who are you? Did Albert Albertus send you? I've told you 1,000 times I'm not leaving. This place is perfect for me. At last, I have the space to explore the limits of culinary delights. You'll never understand, you bunch of cabbage heads. Your taste buds have long been dulled by fried cheese, fried fish, and oil. Oil everywhere, the goddamn oil. Oh, so you're not one of Albert's yes men. I hope you'll forgive this egregious lapse in my manners. I never thought that after the entrance was buried, anyone unfamiliar with my situation would find their way here. But first things first. My name is Rumpold Fenini. I used to be the most renowned chef in Camelot, but now I am an outcast. Doomed to forever search, misunderstood by plebeians with no taste. I've discovered, no, I've reached the limits of taste. And when I gazed into that abyss, I realized that all my past efforts were doomed to fail. You see, the logical conclusion of creating the most delicious food is something that flips the pleasure of eating on its head and brings it to the other side. Food so delicious, so extraordinary, that the pleasure turns into pain. Because, you see, it's only through pain that we can truly reach pleasure. Now, listen carefully. Sour herring and cheese. Sour herring with cheese. Perhaps, but it's not supposed to sound, it's supposed to be seen. For what is virtue if you don't first know vice? This experience is meant to embody the essence of culinary norms and rules. Oh, they're nothing but simple amusements for the masses, limitations meant only to expose the cracks within them. Why don't you try it yourself? Though I must warn you, there's no turning back from this path. Once you've tasted the effects of my culinary transgression, nothing will ever be the same. Here's the recipe for my sour herring with cheese. The ingredients are for you to obtain. It must be your own path. Just remember, it requires a if I recall correctly, a good fishing spot was... Here, I've marked it on your map. My acolyte of culinary delights. Oh dear, I could ask what year it is, but honestly, I don't find it terribly important. I finally found my place and purpose. Time holds no meaning for me. Does he now? Why? I don't offer paid lessons, and I certainly don't run the garrison's kitchen. I can't think of any reason Captain Hubert would send his men here. Sorry? Oh, a change in command then. Interesting. I do hope Captain Hubert is well. He was very kind to me when I stayed at the Keeper's Fortress. Maybe I should clean up a bit. Or not. It is the dirty element. Thank you for a... Only you will never be... You will.
Rumpled? What are you talking? Wait, Rumpled? All that. Oh my god. Honestly, I thought it was about the law. You have no idea how scared I was of. Alright, I'm feeling better now. If only. Don't.
I used to love it when I was younger.
But
The day life. Only a keeper is allowed to own.
Please, go chop off.
Just another peaceful.
Are you here to keep me company or put me out of my misery? Just kidding. I love the view, but this weather is killing me. Always windy. Always moist. You don't say. I didn't choose to be here.
Our beloved quartermaster sent me to freeze my arse off. He said as punishment for spitting on the good name of the keepers, whatever the hell that means.
I just got drunk in the tavern and lost half my pay, and maybe some of my clothes. But I mean, why would he even care? It was my gold. I can spend it how I please.
Oh, aye. I need a warm coat. And I mean the absolute warmest coat you can get, huh?
Osprey might have something in stock or know how to make one. I'd ask myself, but he's not exactly speaking with me these days. Stupid. That's what I was. I may or may not have commented on our blacksmith's skill. I gave him a blade to sharpen, and when I got it back, it was still dull. Osprey swore he did his job properly. I said he's getting old. And so on and so forth, until it turned out that my mate had played a trick on me, swapped my sword with another one that was as dull as a stump. I tried to make amends with Osprey, but the old man's pride is as stiff as his steel. Can't say I blame him. Now, here I am, frozen to the bone and in need of a hand. You got one to spare? Thanks, friend. I knew I could count on you.
Hey, tell me, can you read? Listen, I'm no good with words. Could you read me a letter from my sister? She's learning how to read and write. Can you believe it? She writes letters to me. I'm so proud of her. Oh, thanks. Here's the letter. And what did it say? Everyone's healthy? No, you must have misunderstood something. What do I do now? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I should go back to him, right? I have to think of something. I don't know. Sorry, I have to think.
What do you think of scale armor? Scale armor. What do you think of it? The ones all the keepers wear. Sure, maybe it's easy to make and doesn't restrict movement, but it doesn't provide the best protection. Someone just needs to stab you between the scales and you're done for. The melee armor is much better. That will prevent you from being run through with a polearm or getting shot with a bow. It's also much more comfortable. I read a lot about it. In Volume 4 of the Armourer's Almanac, Arden's Shadowblade describes the differences between various types of armour. For example, chainmail allows for a good range of movement, but it's heavy. It also provides poor protection against blunt weapons, and its production is laborious. No, but I have knowledge from books and a lot of thoughts on the subject, so I know what it would be like to wear different armour. Shadowblade is a moniker. Arden is passionate about weapons and armour. He has great knowledge of materials, techniques, and history. A true expert. Everything he writes is interesting. I would love to meet him one day. I told them, but they both said I know jack shit. Besides, the keepers rarely go outside the walls nowadays. Then the quartermaster added that if I don't like our equipment, he could send me out scouting in just my underwear. Perhaps you're right. But if somebody ever stabs me under the scales, I'll go straight to the quartermaster and give him an earful. Oh, of course. I mean, I've never made one. I'm not an armourer. But I've read so much about it that I'm sure it won't be a problem. Here's the page from the Armourer's Almanac that explains the process.
Blessings upon you, stranger. May the word always resonate within your soul. May Kai... Blessings up... What do you mean, my child? Not much, unfortunately. I was sent to serve in the Horns of the South shortly after my ordination. I only know that many brothers dream of joining the research team working in the ruins. But I am surprised you know about them. The brothers wouldn't allow, well, a nobody to enter. That's commendable. Keep it up. The Prophet values those who know their place in the world. Indeed, my child. I have served in the Horns of the South since I turned 20. So, it's now my 40th year in the service of Kai and this noble abode.
As for the asylum, I only know as much as my brothers deem necessary to relay to me in their letters. I only receive reports on their progress towards curing the Red Death. I'm afraid that I simply cannot believe your blasphemous words without proof. So it's your word against the word. Let's leave it at that. It's a sickness, a corruption, but also a mystery. Many of my brothers would call... And yet, I wonder. The weirdness twists life, and that is what frightens the church most of all. As prepared as any men can be against something they barely understand. Swords and fire will hold back but there is one thing. The Excalibur they... Well, even as it rests upon its pedestal, the air around it remains untouched. The tendrils of corruption that strangle stone and steel refuse to claim it. The Keepers may not see it for what it is, but I do. There is power in that blade. Something ancient, and if it safe? No. But tell me, what is so no? May Kai's...
If you're here to see the healer, don't bother. He's a quack and a butcher who likes to watch people suffer. I came to him with a toothache, asked him to make me something for the pain, and you know what he did? He said my tooth is rotten, and then sent me to Osprey to get it pulled out. Sounds like horse crap. My grandma was smarter than your lot, and she couldn't even read.
She knew how to make a proper potion for toothache. If I were any good at mixing that stuff, I wouldn't need to deal with quacks like Heber.
I even gave him my grandma's recipe, but he said it was no good. No, Heber took it, the plonker. Said if I don't know how to make it, I shouldn't have it. And that he doesn't want some questionable homebrew medicine spreading through the keep. You will? Oh, you're a lifesaver. Tooth saver, yeah? No matter.
Eyes forward. You all right, newbie? Have you been to see the refugees? I can't believe poor Cole was put in a cage. Hey, what a mess. Cole came to us with a group of refugees from some nearby villages. They were looking for shelter from, well, everything that's been happening here. Bandits, the weirdness, the Del Reader, hunger. I was happy Fergus let them in and allowed them to stay. You'll meet them in the village. They live in the buildings up high. Not long ago, though, Cole started acting very strange, erratic, sometimes even aggressive. One of our keepers, old Mahon, tried to calm him down. He might have used too much force, and Cole felt compelled to defend himself. He bit old Mahon. And since then, the old fool has been lying in the infirmary. Frankly, I think Mahon brought it on himself. They shouldn't have put that poor man in a cage. Wait. If you ever meet Patrice, please give her those flowers. I know it's not much, but I'd like her to know she's not alone. I support her and the other refugees. And I'm sure there are more of us who do. Good to see you again. The pledge today was very interesting, wasn't it? The certainty in Quartermaster Aimer's voice. Beautiful. Makes one eager to start work. So, what do you need this time? The pass again? Are we planning a trip to the Stale Lamb? Hey, not this time, my friend. I've run out of ink. I'm waiting for a delivery. Steward Orla will let me know when more arrives. In the meantime, I need to ask you for a favor. So, you in? For the sake of our long friendship? You do know it needs to stay between us. Do you understand? Say you understand. Fantastic. So, here's the thing. On a recent night out at Wrongs, it seems I may have left some sensitive documents at the bar. Documents, with Captain Fergus' seal. But not necessarily sealed by him. You know what I mean. I can't really go there right now. Could you get them back for me? I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem. Splendid! When you have the documents, meet me at the third crowing of the rooster. Or just find me. I'll be around.
Nice to see you. Oi, friend. A question. Do you know why people always stop and watch a blacksmith at work? Because he's riveting. It's good to see a new face in this sad hole. Oh, of course. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Osbert, local master of hammers and anvils. Do you need your blade sharpened? Not really. Especially since we went into a lockdown a while ago. People used to come and go. Now and then a ship would make a stop at the village below, but nobody's really come around since. Well, since the entire shit show that's going down everywhere. Now that I think of it, you're the first they've let in. What'd you do? Who did you bribe? Oh, so you have friends in Camelot. Good for you. Of course I do. Those pins are peak craftsmanship, and very rare at that. We only gave them out on Camelot's orders. But when I look at you, well, it's pretty obvious you wouldn't be able to beat a knight. And even if you found one already dead, you'd sooner nick his armor than a pin you knew nothing about. Either way, good for you. Sometimes I wonder, how many things can go wrong at the same time. They say that misery loves company, but here, it's like we've done something to anger the gods, and they're taking their sweet revenge. First, we started hearing that the weirdness was spreading near Grubwood. Soon after that, we saw waves of bandits approaching from there. Desperate people. It took a lot of our territory. Then the Del Rita tribes took over the All-Mother's Temple. And after that, the supply chains from Camelot collapsed for some reason. And so on and so forth. We're in quite a pickle, my friend. We've started betting on what's going to happen next. Sea monsters? Who knows? Yes, that damn forest north of here was already cursed and creepy. But now, I've heard it's an entirely different level of crazy. They say that some men here started going dark up north. With that, the weirdness started moving. And when the weirdness gets here, well, we're fucked. But you know that. Every child has heard the stories. Truth be told, most of them are just people desperate to survive. When the villages started dying out because of the weirdness, hunger, or raids, they lost their livelihoods, ended up with nothing to their names, and nowhere to go. So they banded together and started raiding whatever was left. Then they turned to killing each other. They're like rabid wolves. Too bad they're here now, too. I don't know. It's hard to explain. They kept to themselves, perched in the mountains near the Forlorn Swords. Then something happened, and suddenly we saw ships arriving near our eastern shores. Couple days later, the tribes took over. One good thing is that the bandits aren't up to fighting with them. One bad thing, we aren't either. I heard that Dew fell down the stairs and didn't break a single bone. So that's a start. Other than that, no, I can't think of anything. Yeah, after we lost 2 squads trying to take back the All-Mother's Temple from the Del Rita, our captain decided that nobody leaves the Horns. Then he shut himself in his office, without leaving us any orders. Feargus is trying to keep the lads occupied, but... just look around. Half of the people here are losing their minds, and the rest are losing their wages on drink. Huh. It's Radan, isn't it? That ungrateful bastard's still on the wall. You don't have to do that, kid. I know it's for him. It's fine. And I forgave him a long time ago. Now that I think about it, it was a hell of a prank. Well, he was right. I am old, but inefficient, stung a little bit. After all, I did my job well, and his sword is as sharp as Excalibur itself. Well, I may not be angry with him anymore, but that doesn't mean I'll work my ass off so that his doesn't freeze. Here's an explanation of how to make it. Ha! Friend, I wish. But the only task I could use help with might be a bit too delicate for you to handle. Unless you're a master goldsmith, then feel free to prove it, and I'll have work for you immediately. There's just not enough of them to go around, and now that we're on lockdown, there's not much demand for my services either. Listen, I said I don't have any jobs, as in things I pay you for doing. That doesn't mean I can't teach you a thing or two. If you're willing to learn, that is. Since you're free to wander about while I'm stuck in the keep, maybe we can make good use of that. You've probably bashed in the skull of a beast or two, right? The alchemists. They're likely snatching up the corpses, using the muck to cook their weird concoctions. But perhaps you'd rather craft yourself some armor from those hides, huh? We should start with something simple. Let's see. I'll give you some notes on how to make armor. You gather the materials and get to work. And when you're done, you can bring it over so I can see what you've made.
Thank you, friend. Let me repay your kindness. Even though I don't have much, I can at least tell you about something I saw a little while ago. It might be interesting for an adventurer like you. See those rocks near the shore? When it gets dark, sometimes I see a light there. I'm no sure what it could be, though.
A bandit camp this close to the Horns? Impossible. The Daliata? No way. They wouldn't hide like that. Maybe something else entirely?
It's probably nothing, but maybe you could find something interesting or valuable there.
Farewell.
Oh, sorry. Do I know you? I'm terrible with faces. Either way, glad to make your acquaintance. I'm Jan Heber, a physician raised in Camelot and trained in the Royal Academy. Healing diseases, sometimes cutting people open. Oh, and pulling out teeth seems to be a leading cause of concern for everyone around here. Me pulling teeth in the arse end of the world? My friends back in Camelot would laugh their brains out. I don't dream about anything anymore, so sleep feels like a waste of precious time. Fortunately, back in Camelot, I found a mix of remedies that can keep me awake for a whole week. It was quite popular in our study group. Oh no, every physician needs his secrets. But I can sell you some if you promise not to tell any of the higher-ups. There are side effects. You won't fall asleep for a while, but the moment you do, well, you'll feel like you died and came back to life, only to die again. So you either take the next dose, or endure it. I can endure it because I don't have a post to attend to. But our brave soldiers, well, that'd be risky. Well, they already trust my word, and I'll be sure to deny everything. Moreover, I'm in the position to raise my prices or to refuse to sell you medicine, whichever suits my mood. I'm honestly quite offended you're even asking. Is some local witchcraft I've been trying to make sense of. I guess I'll find out when I try it. Experience is the best teacher. Don't worry, I'm not testing anything on the others. Graham the Mad, a great Camelotian physician, used to say that a real doctor would never give his patients something he hadn't tried on himself first. A wise approach, which I follow myself. Oh, that was unexpected. Here, take it. What will happen, I have no idea, but please tell me, if you live to find out. What irony? The pursuit of knowledge is always dangerous. That's why it's reserved for only the bravest of the brave. It takes true guts to face the unknown, to realize just how little you know, and how insignificant you are to the world. I was classically trained in the proper art of medicine by the scholars of Camelot. The things they do here, they make no sense. No sense at all. Most of this stuff shouldn't even be effective, yet it seems to work wonders on these simple-minded, tough-bodied people here in the South. Shipments from Camelot are late, so I'm running low on supplies. If I'm not able to treat them, they'll start complaining. And Fergus doesn't like when people complain, especially when it comes to their health. He truly cares about them, I've got to admit. He doesn't care much about anyone else, though. Lanzo knows very well what he must do. I'm sorry, but there's nothing else I can do for him. Either he removes the tooth, or it will keep hurting. Yes, his grandma's miracle medicine. I honestly don't have time for village superstitions. I had to confiscate the recipe as well, lest he tries making it himself. As if I don't have enough problems already. No, I thought I made myself clear. If you want an excuse to drink yourself to oblivion on moonshine, just drink the moonshine. No need to add other potentially dangerous ingredients. Yes, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason people think those things actually work. It's obvious. If you drink enough alcohol, you eventually stop feeling pain, along with your entire face. Well, to be fair, the base recipe is pretty harmless. But what if someone decides that if they don't have carnation, it's perfectly fine to substitute it with devil's snare, since the color is more or less the same? Or sage with wolfsbane because, you know, leaves are leaves. I'm sorry, but unfortunately I know these people well enough not to trust them with something like this. What? How do you... You know what? Fine. Do whatever you want. But if it causes you to shit yourself for 3 days straight, don't come running to me. Why would you, though? Don't you have better things to do? Aha, got it. So you're up for work not out of the goodness of your heart, but for your own selfish plans. Good point. That is a very good point. But all right, if you're a mercenary, then I do have a job for someone who'd be willing to risk their life in exchange for material goods. Back at the academy, I found an ancient scroll written by the Druids. Forbidden knowledge, especially now, after the mob forced them all into a wicker man and burned every last one of them to ash. I finally deciphered it a little while ago. It describes a ritual that needs to be performed at night within a stone circle. And guess what? There's one in the nearby forest. I guess you already know what I need you to do, hmm? That is an excellent question. But I don't know. From what I've been able to decipher, it's a summoning spell to bring something or someone to our world. That being will share its great knowledge with the one brave enough to summon it. I need you to remember what it says and repeat it to me after you're back, word for word. Isn't it obvious? I'm the only medic they have here at the Horns. I'd like to see Fergus's face if he hears about me going out there. And here I am, thinking that everyone's already heard about the Charred Conclave. Well, it wasn't the proudest moment in our history, that's for sure. You truly don't know. At some point, the villagers all around the island decided that the Druids were responsible for the Red Death, and all other ailments of our times. They rounded them all up in a massive wicker man north of the Fooooooon swords, and burned them all to ashes. Hundreds of years of knowledge gone within the blink of an eye. But, well, that's what's bound to happen when you stop paying for people's education and invest in keeping the elites fed instead. In Camelot, maybe, but this far south? Nobody cares. I've spent my entire life digging through scrolls and books in pursuit of their knowledge. I've been reading about their rites and the descriptions of their rituals. Look, I'm sure they were onto something. They knew much more than we do, but it feels like there's a veil wrapped tightly around that knowledge. It's like I need to find the right spell, the right ritual, something that will unwrap it for me.
Ah, you're back!
Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Tiernan should let you in. Take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. You shouldn't have trouble finding him. I can't promise that talking to him will be any fun. Come to me afterwards.
Ah, he used to serve too. In fact, he was the builder before me. Now he's just an old fart angry at the world.
But a father is a father, right? We may hate each other, but as long as I can help him, I will. Hence the medicine.
If Haber doesn't know, then I don't either. So we keep trying. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass, and I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? That's right, bringing medicine to my father. When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through him. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him, stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as anything else. Tried picturing myself as a husband, a father once. But, nah. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father, like son, I guess. Well, no, of course not. We're not priestesses of the All-Mother. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be a keeper. Old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. Keep your head down.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you promise not to make any trouble? That's just my luck. Take the post, Tiernan, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. I know Mahone can be a piece of shit sometimes, but gods. Now both of them are sick. And Haber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that refugee isn't dead. Yet. So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day, and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it all. No, not really. Fortunately. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd be a laughingstock. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday, right? So whether it's me or them, at least my problems will be over. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But I've got no way to fix it. Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something. I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. There are bigger problems, but it'd be a start. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even uses boats. But, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on something, there's no point in arguing. I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, I could teach you a thing or two about home decor. Not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well, we all have our secrets. Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed in a glorified fish bucket, but I've got a thing for furniture. The only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds, well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as Tiernan the Grumbler. But hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just happens to be daydreaming about nicer chairs. Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lady Elisa. Something. I don't remember. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her, I'd just end up being a keeper all over again. Please, try not to...
What do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. So you really don't know? If you're not from here, I'm not sure what could have brought you to this hellhole, but you have my sympathies. Just know that Cole isn't like that. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, But now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense, but he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. I was in a strange place. Dark. Full of fog. Eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, and then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world. What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. I don't care about his motivation. What you have in your hand is a very bad omen. Take those flowers away. Burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them. Be careful out there.
bloody hell, look at this! The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of decrepit old coots. They do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? I bloody knew it. Retirement my arse. It's shit. Never a moment of peace. At least when I was still working, there was always something to do. Now, so, what you want? One day, my boy got it into his stupid head that old Gaban is ill. Bullshit. They're all telling me I should do something about it, or else I'm done for. I'll be dead as a doornail in no time. Ha! Like hell I will. I'm still here, ain't I? I've served my time. I've lived me life. And now you can all kiss my ass. So there. Listen, they wanted Heber, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. Yeah, right. He'd better focus on his job. Curious, aren't you? Fetch me a drink and we'll see. Ah. Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's my helper at most. Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round after me. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. What's with all the questions? Get me... Ah. That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's clearly mine. But I ain't gonna talk with a stranger. It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. You sure have a lot of... Ah. So, you see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. You used to come here with a mission, not to run away from your bloody mother. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore, and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. What's got you so nosy? Pour me a drink. Ah. I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked, well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails, loyal to a fault. The kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn fool mission that was. We went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was, but I'm still here. Oh, some days I wonder why. Getting a bit... Those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the horns. Damn fool mission that was. But here wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff to get under your skin. Looked like... hell, memory's all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Peace, you say. Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, make Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. My brothers deserved better.
Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla.
Pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this.
I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them... or not.
It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many.
Yeah, Orla. A woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit and no finesse when it comes to trading. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Damn those Timberwall merchants.
Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit.
Yes, Quanacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the Royal Geographers. To chart the uncharted.
But I broke my leg, badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore.
You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the age of legends. They travel across Avalooooon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves, discovering old ruins. That's what LSA and I dreamed of, though only one of us got to live it. Well, a friend from back home. It was a long time ago. We were both snot-nosed kids who didn't know any better. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on marking every stone in the fields. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. Good times. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, it was right after my accident. I might have acted a bit rashly. Said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she left Connacht. Haven't seen her since. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the sunken village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on offer. But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less.
did? I thought I heard some hammering. Oh, well, thank you for that. Truly. One less thing to worry about, right? Here, I put aside some money from my budget. You've earned it. And you have my gratitude. I'd ask you to fix the refugee barracks, but... well, first then... no. Well, but the... because... so the... well... see you...
Just... Hey. Hello. Are you also wondering why the heck we need them? Lighthouses. Why the hell are Dara and his workers pushing so hard to build the second one? Is one not enough? Is it because one is less than two and less is worse? I mean, two lighthouses next to each other are almost the same as one, and ships don't even sail this way anymore. Ah, symbolism. Yeah, maybe. Whatever that is. Aye, why would they? The waters are treacherous, so no ships. Storms and the weirdness are a deadly combination. Besides, who'd have the time to build or repair them? There are enough problems on the island. We don't need more. Well, not much going on here, as you can see. Things have been a bit different lately, due to the refugees. One was even hanged for theft. But I can't say much more as I wasn't there. If you're interested in the horns, you should visit our museum. You'll learn more about that fella, Swall, or whatever his name is. What do I think? As long as they follow the rules, they can stay. And if they don't, then they can hang. That's all. Folks are saying that there's some other group, probably more dangerous, not so far from here. If they come closer, well, that wouldn't be too good. Aye, it's boring, but at least you don't have to pay to enter. But almost nobody goes there anyway. You can stay here and serve. Sit in the tavern, drink and eat something. If you're looking for an adventure, you'll have to go elsewhere. There's always something happening out in the world. But you know what? Here in the south, everything happens late. It's a big world out there, and a small one right here. I wonder if, once they finish this one, they'll start building a third.
always good to have a little rest.
So much for a secluded cave keeping visitors away. Seems like there's no one on this island to hide in peace. Ah well, since you're here, I have an important question. Do you have any food? I promise to answer all of your questions, no matter how annoying or asinine they might be. But first, do you have any food? Oh dear. Yes, food. Fish, meat, vegetables. Thanks. I'll be forever indebted to you. But don't expect much. The only payment I can offer you is seashells, or, you know, access to an infinite well of ancient druidic wisdom. I'd rather you choose wisdom. I threw out my collection of seashells a few days ago after I stepped on them with my bare feet. Much better. A time. My name is Drest, and I am the local hermit. I don't understand your skepticism. I live alone in a cave, collect seashells, and occasionally talk to crabs. What else could I be? But didn't you know? There are no more druids. The mob rounded them all up, stuffed them into a giant wicker man, and lit a fire. Their screams could barely be heard over the roaring flames, but the stench of the burning flesh easily overwhelmed the smell of blazing wicker. Its glow painted the sky in reds and yellows for the entire night. Some years ago? I'm not sure. I don't remember. Can we change the subject? I'm sure there are more interesting things we could be talking about. Well, I live here, obviously. Why not? It's a perfectly good cave, albeit a bit drafty and damp. Well, it could be better, to be honest, but we can't all live in mansions, can we? The same way you did, I presume. Am I? That's odd. No one ever accused me of that before. Well, I guess that's what living alone in a cave does to your conversational skills. Oh, you know what would be nice? A bath. I do miss baths. I suppose when someone says they miss the taste of roast pork, you tell them to go lick a pig. Anyway, Show me the scroll. Yes, I see. Well, you should definitely follow the ritual. Just make sure you do everything exactly as it is written. I'm sorry, I can't tell you anymore, but it is essential that you discover it for yourself. Revealing the details would spoil the effect. The pursuit of knowledge often requires taking great risks. Now, off you hop. The ritual awaits.
It's nice to have a break.
Oh!
Just another peaceful moment.
What do you want?
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love each other, but a local is a local. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. A problem? No. No problem, just rambling to myself. But now that I look at you, sure enough, you don't look like one of them. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking to any of them. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure. Civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window, along with our pride. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man out of you. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're made of glass. Soft, weak, the lot of them. What's there to be proud of? You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, how do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. Just like that? Give me a break. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Do you see anything interesting around here? There's this tavern, and plenty of fish in the sea. Decent place to retire, but not much else. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the locals tear you to shreds. I don't know, but you could put something on the table, and then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg, and it all kinda fell apart. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him, but he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate, do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley. Let's just say Finley's no good at this stuff. Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him.
eyes forward and mind your step.
It's nice to have a break.
What do you want?
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean, not just wiped 3 times with a dirty rag. I'm not sure. I don't mean to say that you peasants all look the same, but you have to understand it's quite difficult for people like me to tell anyone apart in this dreariness, especially since there seems to be so many people like you here. I thought the South was supposed to be more secluded. My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But surely you must have heard about our family. Not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent feasts. Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Lightkeepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the South, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell! It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer it much longer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, nothing major. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away from all this rabble. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a filthy room at an inn. When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. A bucket! Can you imagine? Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants, not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. Forcibly, if there's no other way. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid! I can't wait to start decorating. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a trifle trite?
You see that? Not one, but two noble ladies in a tavern tonight. That's a rare sight around here.
Aye, I saw 'em. You don't see their kind much in places like this. Makes you wonder what brings 'em down here.
One's Lady Elaine, a scholar from Farshire. Thought about talking to her, but I'd probably just make an ass of myself.
Elaine, eh? Yeah, she's known for her smarts. Better keep your mouth shut around her, unless you want to feel about as sharp as a blunt axe.
And the other one, Lady Elisa. Not as smart as Elaine, but she's certainly posh. Got the airs of royalty without the smarts to back it up.
Ha! Elisa, yeah. She's got the looks, but don't expect her to be cracking any books. Doesn't need to. Not with that Duncan by her side. Though from what I've seen, they don't seem to like each other all that much.
Yeah, I've noticed. They sit together but act like strangers. Makes you wonder why they even bother.
Probably all for show. I reckon Duncan's got his own problems, but Elisa, she's too wrapped up in herself to notice.
You remember Sewell Firstfoot's tomb? Used to be a popular pilgrimage spot, but ever since the flooding, nobody's been out there.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. The whole place is forgotten, like it never even mattered. Pilgrims stopped coming after the water rose.
You've heard the rumors, right? Some say the Druids caused the flooding. Now, honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know. Druids? Why'd they bother flooding a whole village? What's in it for them?
Maybe they wanted to keep folks away from something. Or they weren't too fond of Sewell getting all that attention. Druids are a strange lot.
Strange, sure, but flooding a village to stop pilgrims sounds a bit far-fetched to me. Could have been something else entirely.
Doesn't matter much now. The tomb, the village, it's all gone. Nothing but water and memories left.
Aye, a place lost to the depths, and with it, a piece of our history.
You seen all the refugees coming from the nearby villages? They're trying to...
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood,
Oh, no need to tell me that. I've tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? Ah, ha ha, you can talk. Now, I'm sure we'll get along. My name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in this part of Avalon. By the All-Mother, don't tell me you don't know what Farshire is. The largest duchy in the middle of the island, with the wise Lady Kincaid in power, who has a hold over the entire territory. Nothing? Oh, really? I know, child. I know. Everyone was surprised. Camelot turned up their noses at this for years. But after Lord Kincaid died and Eden, Lady Kincaid's son, disappeared, the nobles of Farshire decided she could stay on the throne. Even if Aiden had been alive, she would still be ruling as a regent until he came of age. But between you and me, he wasn't a very bright boy. So she would have been ruling until her death anyway. Oh, we're lucky to have her. Difficult times require determined leaders. Worse than ever. Oh, the wordness is thickening, and the roads are getting dangerous and unpredictable. That's why I'm here, wandering Avalon looking for solutions. If I don't do this, who will, hmm? You're probably wondering what a feeble old lady who can't even lift a sword could possibly accomplish. But King Arthur didn't conquer Avalon just because he couldn't swing a blade. No, he had knowledge, and enough wisdom to know how to use it. Lady Kincaid wasn't happy when she found out about this idea. But all Mother's mercy, I'm her tutor. She cannot dictate what I do, no matter her standing. Oh, do you mean a family? Oh, I've never had time for such trifles. No suitor was ever more interesting than a good book, nor did any of them smell better either. And I've raised enough of other people's children to never wish for my own. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? In one of my books, I found a reference to a certain object, a figure most likely, which had the ability to dispel the wordness like a minhair can. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. A deal? Ah, and they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading.
Beer from Connacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish. Lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brennan was already the captain when it was built. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. A lot has been happening here lately. Plenty of new faces. I definitely can't complain. I'm finally running a proper tavern. People come and go and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore. No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... no. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. Sigibald. It was Sigibald who left those documents behind. I've no idea how you found out about it. Sigi. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalooooon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Sigi was a friend worth 5 others. And he was. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with him, that's for sure. No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore.
The horns of the south, the crown jewel of these lands. We had barely laid the foundations of Tintagel when Seawool and his men had already built a lighthouse, eager to guide our ships to them. He always had a competitive spirit. Of course, it helped that he took every sailor from the homelands with him, along with a handful of knights, so they could learn from one another. And thus, the Keepers of the South were formed. I decreed that every sworn keeper would stand as an equal to a Knight of the Round Table. I doubt they still honor that law. But I am glad to see the keepers grown. In my time, there was only a lighthouse and barracks. I suppose it wasn't. I can feel it guards something primordial within. The markings on the stone resemble the work of the Foredwellers. In my time, such inscriptions would shift and change, making them impossible to decipher. Yet, I met some people who sought to unravel these mysteries. Most of them were Picts. I allowed them to explore Avalon without my oversight. And so, I remember that the royal geographers came to be. My favorite band of adventurers. True pathfinders. Avalon owes them a great debt. That's a question better suited for Merlin if he was still around. I always thought it was where his druids got drunk and danced naked in the moonlight. He was terribly offended when I said that. Gave me an entire lecture about the delicate balance of life and death, how they are intertwined within nature. That, he claimed, was what the Cromlechs were meant to be. The heart of their power. A place where it could be harnessed and cultivated. Still, he never invited me to any of their celebrations. He always did hate when I was right. I suppose it has. A pity it has become a hunting ground for bandits. But do not worry, my friend. Let us walk this path and make me whole again. I will restore this island to the glory it deserves, the King's Road included.
What do you want? Who are you? Ha! Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Tainted tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter to? You people, bugger off.